And that was Bryce Young's best game ever. Dude, that was Bryce Young's best game. Man, I think that benching worked. He had his best game ever. Man, he just had his best game. No. Today, against the reigning Super Bowl champ Kansas City Chiefs, this was Bryce Young's best game. What's going on? You're watching Panthers Post. Man, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Panthers lose 30-27 in regulation against the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, there's so much I could say right now. So this is one of those episodes. Mind you, yes, I'm wearing my Bryce Young jersey backwards because you can't tell I'm wearing a Bryce jersey when I wear it the proper way. But this way, I just got to show him some love because he deserves it. He deserves it. He went up against a guy, Patrick Mahomes, who is a multiple-time MVP, Super Bowl MVP, 3-time champ. And what is the thing that Patrick Mahomes kind of sets him apart? Obviously, the scramble ability and all that, but it's how he got into the NFL. He sat for a year and learned from a veteran in Alex Smith, and then he came out when he was ready, cooking. He knew the playbook inside out, the Andy Reid offense, the Eric Bieniemy offense, and did his darn thing, hit the ground running. Bryce Young, not the exact same. He had all of last year, which was awful. He had the first 2 games of this year, and then he got benched. He sat down and he learned. Not only did he learn about the playbook, about the game, I think he learned about himself. And whatever Patrick Mahomes did in a year, it looks like Bryce Young got a snippet of that in those games where Andy Dalton was under center, and he has learned. It was not an aberration. The game against the Saints was not an aberration. The game against the Giants across the pond in Munich was not just like a one-time thing. The kid is actually learning. He's figuring it out. The game is slowing down for him. He is gaining confidence. That benching, and if you want to scroll back just a couple weeks ago, the national media who eviscerated the Carolina Panthers on everything they did. How dare you bench my favorite son, straight A student, gifted student, played soccer, basketball, flute, cello, all that stuff. He speaks Spanish and German and French and Korean, all that stuff. You benched my son? Bryce Young? Soft-spoken Bryce who shuffles when he walks? Bryce, moistly talks Bryce? You benched him for 36, 37-year-old Andy Dalton? People were so, guys were saying they would never want their kid to be drafted by the Carolina Panthers, ever. There's a toxic organization. Dave Canales better know what he's doing. Dave Canales hates Bryce Young. He's trying to sabotage Bryce Young. All this stuff. Maybe Bryce just wasn't good enough at the moment, and he needed this. He's the QB whisperer, reportedly. Hey, looks like during those times when Bryce sitting down, he be whispering. He's whispering. He's telling him something. He's coaching. He's doing something. I don't know what it is. But he came back, and he's gotten better every single week since then. And mind you, this is against the Kansas City Chiefs. As Steven Spagnuolo, Kansas City Chiefs defense that eats young quarterbacks up. Blitzes the hell out of them, gets in their face, pressures them, makes them feel uncomfortable. And what does he do? He puts 27 points on them. And who has done that this season? Joe Burrow and the Bengals. They're having a tough year. Things are just not going their way. But they're darn good, even though the Panthers could have beaten them. With Andy Dalton, but still. And Josh Allen and the Bills, who are, in my opinion, Super Bowl favorites right now. And then Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers today. Hey, if you're still listening right now, if you like Panthers Post, you probably saw my video last week when I talk about that we got memberships now, baby. You know why? Because I want to talk to you guys individually, as a group. But I want to know your names. I want to learn more about you. I know a lot of Carolina Panthers fans that aren't in the Carolinas, like myself in Canada, and they want to talk about it because there's no one else to talk about the Carolina Panthers with. You can type all you want, but I want to talk to you. So for $1.30 US a month, that's less than a cup of coffee, unless you're going to some no-name brand. Per month, you get live chats with me, live streams. Live streams is going to be exclusively for members. I'm going to talk to you guys. You join me. We're going to work together, trying to find a time, and we're going to talk about the game like this one against Kansas City Chiefs. Tell me how you really feel. We got fans out here in Oklahoma who have no Carolina Panther fans to talk to. You can talk to me. You get exclusive videos. Those midweek videos, you're going to be getting some midweek videos that are exclusive just to you. I'm working on some things right now, a little bit different, you know, kind of like feature type things, documentary type things about the Carolina Panthers. I got something cooking in my brain right now. You're going to be getting early access to those midweek videos, the ones that normally drop on a Thursday. You get it on Wednesday. Everybody else gets it on Thursday. So for $1.30, that's what you get. You get exclusive content, you get early access to videos, and you get to talk to me. And also, I don't think YouTube allows me to do this, but I'm going to be doing some contests as well for members, okay? And so once I get the stuff, you get stuff as well. I'm going to try to do that quarterly, all right? Thanks for listening to this part. Let's continue with the show. The man's confident. I've never seen Bryce smile so much on the field ever. And this is against the Super Bowl champs. Again, hello, back-to-back Super Bowl champs who had very few injuries besides Isaiah Pacheco, who was injured on their team. They actually had guys back on their team ready to go. And like I talked about this in the pregame earlier this week. He had a shootout with Patrick Mahomes, and he actually dueled it out. He dueled it out against Patrick Mahomes, a la Josh Allen. That's crazy. That is crazy. That what we just witnessed today. And he deserves it all. And obviously, Dave Canales in the postgame said absolutely he is starting against the Bucs. Like, we don't have to play that game anymore. Bryce had a great game. He was throwing dimes all day long without Jalen Coker. Hi, here's my kid. Dancing. We're dancing. We're dancing with Lisa. We're dancing with Lisa. The bus driver dances. The bus driver dances. Dinosaur goes the door. Now, this is a Bryce Young who had these stats. Again, 21, 35, 263, 1 touchdown. JT Sanders out with a concussion, sent to hospital. He's good to go. He's been discharged, a.k.a. he's fine. Precautionary. Jonathan Brooks in his first game back, only 2 rushes, didn't see much action. Jalen Coker, the cokehead, did not start. He is nursing that injury, so they had to call up guys like Devin Tompkins, who he got a lot more play than I thought he would, but his number 1 receiver was freaking David Moore, who's on his 5th team. 6 catches, 81 yards, and a touchdown. Adam Thielen came back. I thought he was being the number 1, but it looks like they double covered him. 57 yards passing for him, and he was a difference maker as well. He moved the chain. He kind of replaced Jalen Coker in that sense. It's too bad that the undrafted free agent wide receiver wasn't playing, because I think he would have made a real difference. Like, we were the ones that were undermanned for the first time in a matchup. Sure, they didn't have Isaiah Pacheco, who could have made it a very different game on the ground, but we were the ones that were undermanned. What could this game have been? What if it was JT Sanders at the end of that pass and not Tommy Tremble? That would have been a touchdown. And it would have been a different game. If Jalen Coker was out there, high pointing balls, him and Xavier Leggett, might have to invest in some gloves, my guy. But Bryce Young's learning, man. Like, this is the best I've felt about him going forward as the starter into next year. Starter week 1 next year. 100% right now, Bryce Young. It has to be it. Keep Andy Dalton if he wants to get paid here, and they sign him up. But unless he doesn't want to stay, or he wants to hang him up after that, that car crash, and it put things in perspective, he's not back. Daniel Jones, come on down. Charlotte guy. He is the backup if he wants to be one. I highly doubt it. But wow. Great game, Bryce. Let me know in your comments below how you felt about Bryce today. I didn't feel worried. I didn't feel worried with Bryce under center. He seemed like in complete control. We're getting, every single week, more and more of Alabama Heisman Trophy winning Bryce, and that should make us all excited. Did not think J.C. Horn in a contract year would be flagged 3 times in crucial moments that I'm pretty sure each one of those led to a touchdown. And it's stuff like that. When you're up against Chiefs, you can't, that's a massive mistake. I understand the margins are very fine against the Kansas City Chiefs, but if you're one of the leaders on this team, you can't be making mistakes like that. Again, against like DeAndre Hopkins, who I know is a vet, probably getting on your last nerve, and you're dealing with Xavier Worthy, who is fast as hell and probably also getting on your last nerve, and you're probably, picking up this defensive secondary just on your shoulders on your own. Man, they need Travis Hunter bad. They need that Johnson cat out of Michigan bad. They need to bookend this corner position on this team so it's not all just on J.C. Horn, because he was getting frustrated out there and he cost his team, unfortunately. But he also got his first career sack, which I can't believe took this long. But add that to his highlight tape. For the most part, I thought he did a pretty good job. But it was just those penalties that kind of, if you give them a chance, they're gonna punish you, the Kansas City Chiefs. I thought that was unfortunate for him. Things I did have on my bingo card. I figured Ike Ekwonu was going to have a stupid penalty in the red zone to kill a drive. That's exactly what happened. Settled for field goals. Like the Panthers, field goals 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 field goals. Yeah. I know Eddie Pineiro's the most accurate kicker in NFL history, statistically speaking, but That's not what I wanted. And I talked about that in the preview video. If you're going to rely on field goals and not touchdowns against the Kansas City Chiefs, you're going to lose, especially with our defense, who I must say performed admirably. Mina Kimes put on Twitter machine saying that before this, the Panthers had 12 sacks, and they have sacked Patrick Mahomes, Super Bowl MVP, two-time champ, back-to-back, three-time champ, 5 times in one game. Like DJ Wanham's addition to this team mid-season is a godsend, and I'm still drafting an edge or a corner in the first round, but yeah, the defense had its moments where obviously this unfortunately became a bit of a shootout against Kansas City Chiefs. That's the last team you want to do, but you're up against Patrick Mahomes. You just gave him too much running room with less than 2 minutes to go. And the Buffalo Bills will tell you that's way too much time. And you got to factor in his running ability. Is that running, whatever you want to call that? But yeah, the defense, we got dogs, but you need a little bit more talent. And that's where the draft comes in. Like we're talking about this team on Twitter, at Panthers Post #1, like Killy Cam, talk about this team and the young guys we like on this team. And I said in the last videos that Dave Canales, you can say he's almost arrogant or that he's naive because he's his first time head coach in the NFL. Dan Morgan, you could call him a meathead, whatever you want, but these guys know what they want. They do. And they seem foolish when they talk about it, especially when you're getting blown out early in the season and you make drastic moves like benching your number 1 overall pick in Bryce Young. But he has a vision, and it is coming to fruition each and every week. And so they got these young guys like my son. You still dancing? They're every single week. We're learning more and more about this team. And I think the players are getting closer. I think they're realizing there is a culture building here. Like the fact that there is no culture anymore is gone. Like it's happening. Didn't show in the stands. It looked crazy out there. Who farted? Dave Canales and Company. They're building something, baby. Comment below. Join the membership. Let's keep this going.